Every warrior has a beginning.
I'm on a new level.
I need warriors like you. Join us.
What do I have to do? The journey from here is yours to decide. But that is just the beginning.
I'm on a new level.
Rick Hom here for Hollywood First Look. Today, I'm with Andrew Koji, Ursula Corbero, Haruka Abe, and Henry Golding, and we are talking their film, Snake Eyes. So, Henry, I wanted to tell you congratulations because G.I. Joe was my childhood. So it's great to see an Asian guy as the face and the voice of Snake Eyes.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it. What a film. We definitely opened up this universe in the best way possible, and that's focusing on such an iconic character.
Well, speaking of iconic character, what is it like getting this phone call? This is the same phone call as getting like a Batman, Superman phone call.
Yeah, you know, at the time, it was very kind of shocking. And again, what you said, for them to sort of even have me in mind to play such an amazing character was just kind of like, holy moly, like this is really kind of moving in the direction of where we've all been fighting for. And then I had a meeting with Robert Schwentke, the director. I heard out kind of his vision of what he wanted to sort of say and said, this is an absolute reboot. We're trying to start the theme and the feel of these movies from day one. And we're going to do that by delving deeper into a character that we haven't been able to since sort of its conception. And we had sort of the artistic kind of liberties to be able to explore that, which was fantastic. But yeah, to be blown away is an understatement that they even sort of approached.
It was, you know, as an actor, I think I am always personally very cautious about, you know, what roles I take on. Just because, you know, you never know how it's going to turn out or all that stuff. And I think it was Robert, talking to Robert, who's a big fan of Japanese film and cinema, and I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do a film like this, that I wanted to do it right, I wanted to do it properly, I wanted to make sure I do the character, bring the character to life.
What I liked is your take on the Baroness in terms of her look, because in the comics, you know, she's got, I'm trying to get this right, she's got the longer hair and distinct glasses. So for you, you had a distinct haircut, and I wanted to see how many times like different pairs of like glasses that you put on to try to find your Baroness.
I know, we were talking a lot about that. It was like a big thing, you know, should we put the long hair, because we knew that the Baroness is being always with this super long hair, and it's very characteristic from the Baroness. But Lorenzo, the producer, he was like, I just love this hair. And why if we do some change on the Baroness? I mean, this is a new movie. There is no background. So let's do it a little bit risky, you know? And I think it worked.
You know, for like Henry and for Andrew and for Samara and for Ursula, I mean, people already have a sense of who those characters are. So I feel like there's maybe more expectation on them. I'm not sure for you, because like you get to create this character.
Absolutely. I think that was what I loved about the character, because yes, I think it's incredibly cool to be able to play such iconic, you know, characters, but there's also an immense pressure that comes with it, I think, whereas like AKIKO's like a complete newbie. So I kind of got to really dive into the script and knead and mold and create her from scratch, which was very, very satisfying and fun.
Did you get an opportunity to talk with Larry Hama a little bit to get a sense of Storm Shadow and how he created the character?
Most of our notes came from Robert. Larry communicated through Robert, I think because he wasn't in the country at the time. And I wanted to, put my own, and after I think discussing with Robert, and we really kind of got on the same page about how we wanted to create and what we wanted to do with the character. So I think going forward, I want to have a chat to go, where do you think, where can you go, all that stuff. But I think this was very much my ground, that I was like, I can feel like I know how to do this guy, and what I would want to see, and what I think a kid growing up and the fans would want to see. That was my information at first, and then I think I heard that Larry, trusted us after that, that initial point.
Okay, so I know you to be like this host, this like leading man. How was it going into action? I was wondering if you pumped yourself up with a little bit of "He'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there."
Great rendition. I need you like in my trailer every single morning to come with a trumpet and just like sing that tune. It's such a crazy, amazing fan base that has sort of existed for an entire sort of generation, perhaps even 2 generations. But it was quite the undertaking to sort of translate that to a modern sort of adaptation to include more of the globalization that we're used to. We want to only progress that. We're not trying to make the comic books the way that the people remember them to be. We want to create the fans all around the world, the new generation, but also pay homage to its roots. So that's kind of where we're heading.
The movie is Snake Eyes. You can find it in theaters now. Until next time, I'm Rick Hong, and you've been watching Hollywood First Look.
I'm on a new level.